My entire life was a quest for power. This is no secret. I was born a homeless Roma, living in the woods, the son of a dark witch. After I crawled out of those woods as a young man, I never looked back, and I made myself a king. I made myself a leader, a scientist, and sorcerer. But this part may take you aback a bit. After a lifetime of searching, I finally found how to make my dream of ultimate power a reality. And for a brief moment in time, I owned the universe. I became everything I had always dreamed of being. I controlled space and time. And the world looked to me, and only me, as their one true God. I held my enemies close, and I kept the chaos of this world in check by only my sheer force of will. Only a handful of people even remember that this ever happened. But it did. I was God. And the world was mine. But ultimately it all failed. I failed because it was... There are no better words to use. I created the universe in my image, and it took all of that to discover that God... that no man is God, and God is not man. I was God, and yet I was unchanged. I was not one with the universe. I was not content. I had pushed myself for this for so much of my life, only to discover it was a fool's quest. So I fell back to Earth, forced to confront my true self, to rethink my purpose in this life, and it was then that a sudden and simple notion struck me. It knocked me to my knees. If the selfish act of ultimate power was not my calling, then maybe the opposite could be true. Perhaps the rest of my life needed to be dedicated to other pursuits, a life of protecting instead of conquering. As I prepared for this, I looked out to my true peers, to Reed Richards, Tony Stark. And as I looked to them, I studied them with fresh eyes, and I saw a new purpose, a better purpose, but in what form, that I would need to consider. I then realized that my life up until now had put me in close contact with some of the worst people on this planet. But maybe that is what all my time as Dr. Doom was preparing me for. I knew who the monsters were, where they were, and what they were capable of. I could right so many wrongs quicker and more efficiently than anyone else, because I was once the worst of them all. I came to Tony Stark because I admired him. I always looked at him and saw another version of me. And when he fell, I knew the elders of the cosmos were telling me what form my penance would need to take. I would be Iron Man.